for a TCU flash, it is extremely well put together. What's up guys, Benji here with another video. Today I'm going to be using this EK1 Mini to flash the Bms Tcu on my Kia Stinger. Now there's not really that many videos reviewing or even showing how to install the TCU or just any backend flashes in general on YouTube, so I wanted to go ahead and make one. Usually when you go for a ECU flash or a TCU flash, you go and actually take out your physical TCU and your physical ECU and ship it over to someone. But with a backend flash, you are able to actually manually overwrite the ECU when you want to do things like tune your car. So I think that's pretty cool. It's a little bit cheaper than actually having to pay someone to redo an entire ECU or TCU. So I wanted to test it out. I got one for myself, and I'll let you know how it goes. But this Bms TCU is supposed to be pretty good. It's supposed to increase the clamping pressure, change a few of the shift points. I think it has a better launch control. I'm not sure though, so don't quote me on that. And it reduces transmission wear. I'm not exactly sure what that means or what that entails. It's pretty vague online, but people seem to like it a lot, so hopefully I'll like it as well. So let's get right into the video. Okay, so the first thing that I'm doing is I'm updating my EK1 to the correct firmware, because generally when these are shipped, they're not updated with the correct firmware, so that's what I'm going to do. And to do that, you have to create an account. It's going to ask for your just your credentials, like your username, password, your email, and see, I've done that. And then it's going to ask for your EK1 gauge serial number. So to do that, you want to go to your EK1, and then you want to go all the way down to system setting, and then you press the enter thing, and then you go to system information, and then it should display your EK1 serial number. So you put that in, and then you put in the last 6 digits of your VIN on your car, the vehicle manufacturer, so in my case it's a Kia Stinger, fuel type, just what fuel you're going to be running on the tune, so for me it's going to be 93 and E30, transmission type, auto, and then for your ECU ID and your TCU ID, I'm pretty sure you have to hook up the EK1 to the OBD2 port in your car. And for this, for now, I'm just going to leave it blank. Alright, so the first thing that you want to do when trying to read your ECU and TCU ID is to plug in your EK1 or EK2 Mini, whatever it's called, your EK1 device into the OBD2 port. There's going to be a little blue wire if you have the Mini, and that's just kind of dangling, but don't worry about that. So do that, plug it into the car, and then what you want to do is, here I'll show you, you press the start stop button 2 times, so once and then twice, without your foot on the brake, and that'll put it in ignition mode without the actual engine on. You don't want it in accessory mode because then it won't work, it can't read anything, and you do not want the car on because you don't want to break anything, especially if you're writing over your ECU or TCU file. So once you have that done, turn on the Mini and then go to select car. I don't know if you can see that. Select car, press enter, then go to Kia, and go all the way down until you find Stinger, and do Stinger gas, because you have a gas Stinger, probably if you live in the US. Okay, and then you press the enter key once it reads that. And then that part is done, so it knows that this is a Kia Stinger now. And you go to power mode at the very top, enter. Then you go all the way down to number 3, read ECU ID. And then for your ECU ID, you want to go to 14. And then press the enter key. Now I've already done all of this, I have mine, but when you do it, it is going to throw up some lights on the dash, but they should clear within like 2 minutes. So you do that, and then you're going to have your application ID for your ECU, and that's going to be your ECU ID. Alright, so your TCU ID is actually going to be in the hood of your car, like under the hood of your car, and it is going to be on your actual TCU. So when you come, like, this is the engine bay, you come over on the driver's side, and then right where this is, right here, there is going to be a little sticker down there, and it should have your TCU ID on it, and I'm not going to show it, but it should start with like a TC, so it's going to be TC and then a bunch of numbers, so that's going to be your TCU ID. Alright, so when you created your account, the next thing that I want you to do is go ahead and open the link that I have in my description for the updated firmware. Once you have that open, you want to scroll down and then download this file. It should come as a zipped file. It shouldn't take too long to download. It's like 600 kilobytes. And once you have that done, open up your downloads folder and then just drag it onto your desktop and then extract the files. And if you don't know how to extract a file, all you do is go to your downloads. Once it's on your desktop, you can just right click on it and then press extract all. So do that, and then I'll let you know what to do next. Now what you do next is you take your SD card out of your EK1. I've already gone and done it, but it should be located right here. Take it out, just press on it, and it should come right out. And then plug it into your computer. You're probably going to need a micro SD adapter. I'm pretty sure it's actually shipped with one, so if you ordered the EK1 Mini, it's actually shipped with one. If you got it secondhand, you might have to go to the store and get an adapter. But do that so you can actually copy the files to the SD card. And once you have that done, these are the files that you've just downloaded. So I put it in a folder, it's called tuning. And then I have these 5 files right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to copy these files to the actual SD card. So I'll show you how to do that. So once you have your micro SD card actually plugged in, you can open it up, and it should say EK1 Mini 2. And then what you do is you go to the update folder. There should be nothing in it, and then you take these 5 files and you literally just drag and drop it into there. So once that's done, you've copied the files over, and I'll show you what to do in the next step. So once you have moved the files over to the SD card and inserted the SD card back into the EK1 Mini, what you do now is you go and power it on. I have it powered on via a USB-C cable. You can just plug it in, but you can also use the OBD2 cable if you're in your car. Go to the system settings, so do that, then go all the way down to firmware upgrade. Do that. It's going to ask you to insert the SD memory card. It's already in, so just press enter. Then it found the upgrade file, so that's good. And then it's going to ask if I want a firmware update, and we do want to do that, so I'm going to press enter. So it's doing that right now. Do not touch it. You don't want to mess with anything while it's upgrading or updating. You might brick it. Not sure, but I don't want to take any chances, so just leave it there. I forgot to actually preface this, but when you do buy your TCU from BMS, they're going to send you an email that you have to reply to with all of the information that we just found. So the EK1 ID, the TCU ID, the ECU ID, and your VIN number. Your VIN number can be found along where your windshield is. You just look there, and then you just give them the last 6 digits of your VIN number. So do all of that, reply to the email, and they should get back to you in like 24 hours. I'm messaging them at 10 o'clock at night, so they're probably not going to reply, but I'll probably get an email sometime tomorrow. Alright, so to get the original TCU and ECU files so that you're able to flash back to stock, you actually have to go to the EK1 tuning website and then download them from there. But it's not as easy as it seems. So for some cars, they're going to have the ECU recovery file already on there. If they don't have it on there, you will have to buy a bench cable, which is like $150 from BMS, and then read the ECU that way and write it to a file. For the TCU, I don't think there's one for mine, but they're able to do that for you. So I messaged Ryan, which is the guy over at EK1. He's in South Korea, and he was able to provide me with my original file for my ECU. I don't think they have one for my TCU. So they already have the original file for my ECU, thank goodness. But if you're not sure if they have it, all you do is type in your ECU ID and then search for it and see that they have mine. You click on it and then you insert your EK1 serial number and your 6-digit VIN, so the last 6 digits of your VIN. And after that's done, you actually have to buy credits, which is, I find, kind of stupid, but I'm pretty sure each file is only like 2 credits, which is like $2. So you go to credit and then click on it, and then you can see how many you have. If you don't have any, you can buy your credits. So you press buy credits, redirect you, and then you press on the EK1 credits, and then you press buy now. So it will bring you to that page. I didn't want to show it because it has my address on there, but it'll bring you to the page, and then it's going to ask you for an email. You want to make sure that your email is the same as your account email. So if I go to my info, then you can check what your email is for your account and make sure that matches what you're using when you buy EK1 credits, or else you will not be credited the actual credits. It'll go to some random wherever, or it just won't go anywhere. I did that. I used the wrong email, and I was wondering why it wasn't showing up, and it's because I wasn't using the correct email. So make sure you use the correct email. Then after you're done with that and you have 2 credits, you just press on it, download it, and then that's it. Okay, so Ryan from EK1 just got back to me, and it's actually possible to read your TCU data from the EK1 Mini. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You first want to go to power mode. Actually, you first want to make sure the car is in ignition mode, so press the start button 2 times. Once that's done, make sure you plug it in. Go to power mode, and then you go to read ECU. And that's fine. And then you press continue. Make sure the SD card is in there. Center. You go all the way down. Pretty sure it's to number 15. Number 15. And this is how you read your TCU. You do that. It takes around like 15-ish minutes. That's how long it took me. Do that, and I'll show you how to actually get the file. Alright, so Ryan just responded to me. I think it's like 3 in the morning right now, but I wanted to check it out. He said that when you write your TCU to the EK1, it should appear in the map folder, and it should be this file right here. I think before I wrote the TCU to the EK1, there was nothing in this folder, so I think all of the things that you write to the EK1 will show up in the maps folder.
One eternity later.
Alright, so I have the EK1 Mini SD card plugged into my computer, and I just got the TCU file from BMS, and I went ahead and downloaded it, and I put it in the maps folder, and I just renamed it so it's easy to find. So I have my BMS TCU, I have the boot patch for my ECU file that I just got from KJT, and then the ECU back in Flash. But that'll be in a separate video. This video is just reviewing the TCU. Alright, I'm going to show you guys where the files actually are when you go into the menu. So it's going to be in power mode, and then go to write ECU. Say yes to both of these things. Make sure you have the SD card actually in. And then our TCU file is right down there. So all of the files that are in the map folder, when you go on to your computer, when you have the SD card in your computer, they're going to appear here. So all we have to do now is get in the car, put the car in ignition mode, and then write the TCU file to the ECU. Alright, it's finally time to flash this thing. I have the car in ignition mode. The OBD2 port plugged into the EK1. So we're just going to go ahead and flash the car. Alright, it just finished, and it says ECU programming is complete. Please turn ignition key to off position. And turn it off. And now we're going to turn it back on. And all of the lights are gone. So it's time to finally take it out for a spin, though. I'm really, really excited. I also have to give a humongous shout out to Taylor, or he's known as TJS in the Stinger community. He was such a big help when learning all of this stuff about back-end flashing. Like, I was completely lost about what to do and just anything, really. I mean, I knew some stuff, but I didn't know there was so much that I had to do to actually get this thing to work. He made it pretty much seamless. He told me who to contact, all the support, and just like the basic stuff that you really need to know when using an EK1. So please go give him a follow. That's his tag. I'm going to link everything, all of his socials. Go follow him. He has been a humongous help. All right, so I'm actually starting out in comfort, and I think the TCU has to learn a little bit. Because right now it is so funny. Like the first, second, and third shifts are like so harsh, but like I think it's because of the increased clamping pressure, because it's like it is even in comfort, it is pretty, not, I wouldn't say jerky, but it doesn't feel like the TCU has really learned anything yet, especially since we just overwrote the last, the stock TCU file. It feels really weird right now, but it definitely does feel more aggressive. I'm gonna put it in sport. Downshift into third. Oh yeah, it shifts a little bit quicker. Yeah, I think that's pretty noticeable, at least to me. I don't know if you can really tell through the camera screen, but it shifts pretty quick. It's nothing crazy, it's not like a DCT or anything, but it's pretty fast. I really want to test out the launch control, see what that feels like. Because it is supposed to build more boost. It's like a built-in brake snip for the TCU. So that'd be pretty cool. Alright, let's bust the U. I'm gonna manually shift now. It feels like it shifts a bit quicker. I know they changed the shift points, so I'm really trying to figure that out. I'll do a pull in automatic from a low gear just to see what it's like. I think I need to drive a little bit, drive a couple 100 miles just so I can let the TCU learn what the heck is going on, because right now I don't think it's a really good example of what this flash is capable of. But who knows, it might be completely shit, might be good. Still have yet to test out the launch control, so it'll be interesting. I'll definitely film a couple days apart and see. I'll get back to you guys about how I feel about it. Yeah, it definitely shifts earlier. It keeps it like in the power band, so that's a good thing. Definitely shifts early, like from second to third it would rev out to 6500 like straight to red line, and now it doesn't do that at all. Like it shifts more than a couple hundred RPMs earlier. It shifts like 800 RPM earlier. Oh yeah. Whoa! It's way faster than stock. I've never spun my tires that much. That's crazy. I was literally just spinning all through first and second. That is wild. Well, the launch is definitely faster. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that that is faster, even without timing it. Like the butt dyno, like that felt significantly quicker than when, like, I've launched my car, I don't know, a dozen times, and it's never felt that fast. In sport, the shifts are so aggressive. Like, it's crazy. It's a night and day difference compared to the stock TCU. I mean, it made it feel like it was more aggressive, but like, this is actually, it will, I don't know. You just have to sit in the car to really feel it. I can't really explain it, but it is way more aggressive. And in comfort, it calms back down, like it's driving like it's stock. I kind of want to test out the 3-to-1 or 3-to-2-to-1 downshifts, see if that's any smoother, because you have to do an adaptive TCU reset on your stock TCU if you're experiencing that problem. I wonder if I'm going to experience it with the Bms Tcu. Hopefully it doesn't replicate the same problem, but only time will tell, really. 300, 400 miles, drive it a bit, and it should learn. So I'm not going to drive it like a madman all the time, because then the TCU is going to want to shift crazy. But I'm really impressed by the the launch control, the new launch control. It built boost, which the stock TCU does not do at all. So yeah, I mean, the 3-to-2-to-1 downshifts are really smooth, which is good. It's just the upshifts are a little harsh, even in comfort. But I'm wondering if that'll go away after a little bit. So I want you guys to take a look at these logs. I'm going to throw them up on the screen as well. But just look at the boost curve on the good TCU log. This is with the newly flashed Bms TCU. And look at the boost curve. Look at the difference in the boost curve. In the stock TCU, you can see that it dips down a little bit out of boost, and then it goes back up. And you can actually feel that in the car when you're shifting. Like, you would be out of boost for a little bit, and then the boost would kick back in and kind of just shove it in your face. And it felt like fast. But at higher speeds, when you're at wide open throttle, it feels smoother, if that makes any sense. I mean, the shifts themselves, they feel more aggressive, but it feels, the boost curve feels smoother, if that makes any sense. And I noticed that when I did that poll with the updated flash, I was like, wow, this is kind of weird. It doesn't feel slower, but it feels smoother, if that makes any sense. And you can see that here. And what you can also see is it's shifting a little bit earlier. I can't really, there's no numbers right here, but it's shifting at around 55 to 5,800 RPMs, whereas in the stock TCU, it shift at 6,000 to 63-ish, 6,300 RPMs, around that. So it shift at redline or a little bit before redline before, and now it shifts I wouldn't say way more before redline, but it's a considerable amount, to the point where it's like you can hear the cars not revving all the way out. And that's good, because our cars drop off, the boost drops off after, I think it's like 5,800 RPMs or 6,000 RPMs after a certain point. So it's really good. I have yet to actually time anything, but it feels faster. So. Alright, it is now the next day of me flashing this TCU, and I have a couple of thoughts for you guys. Overall, I really, really like it. Oh, wow.
God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the?
Anyways, the TCU is really, really good. I thought it was too jerky at first, but that's just because I was driving in sport right out the gate. Comfort is phenomenal. I mean, it's really, really smooth. It feels better than stock. Downshifts from third to second to first gear are completely smooth, unlike on the stock TCU, where it would sometimes adapt kind of weird and give you those jerky downshifts. It wasn't even really jerky. It was more of like throwing you into neutral, which just didn't feel right. But that's not even a problem, at least so far, with this BMS TCU. Now in sport, it shifts very, very aggressive. And at first I wasn't sure if I really liked it, but once I got on throttle, I could kind of understand why it's so aggressive. I mean, it handles power so good. It just snaps through shifts immediately, and it's something that wasn't like that on the stock TCU. It definitely feels better. It feels faster, but even more so if you have more power than stock. So I actually flashed the KJT ECU, and that'll be in the next video that I talk about that. But I flashed the KJT ECU, the E30 ECU, and that tune is phenomenal. Just a heads up, that tune is amazing. It makes the car run so good. But on top of that, paired with this TCU, this car is completely different. It is completely transformed. Usually when I would get up to Mexico speeds, the car, I wouldn't say it felt unstable, but the TCU just didn't really know what to do with the extra boost that the JB4 was throwing at it. Now with the TCU actually installed, the car feels so solid. I mean, it's ridiculous. It shifts so fast, and it handles the extra power so well. So that is just my little update. I haven't driven it too much. I mean, I've driven it 100-ish miles. So I won't really know until everything truly settles in. So maybe like 1,000 miles from now, I'll really know how it works, how it performs. But as of right now, I'm very satisfied. It is basically stock, better than stock, in comfort mode, and it is ridiculous in sport mode, but in a good way. Now, I can't really showcase anything right now since it is the middle of the day and there's a bunch of traffic, but you guys are just gonna have to take my word for it. It is so much better over stock. It's really good. Another thing is that the paddle shifters are so much more fun to use because the TCU is so much more responsive. At least it feels that way. I mean, I have no way of really timing it down to the millisecond if the shift is faster, but it feels faster. It feels so much faster. Like, I'll be, especially from, I'd say, first to fifth, that's when the shifts are really aggressive. Like, you can feel that extra clamping force. Like, it's not a bad jerk. It's more of just the aggressiveness of the shifting. I can't really explain it. You guys would really just need to sit in the car to understand what I'm talking about, but it does feel like it shifts faster. And I've been driving around with the paddle shifters, and I can't get enough of it. I mean, whereas I wouldn't really drive with paddle shifters, I drive with paddle shifters from time to time with the stock TCU, but with the BMS TCU, I mean, it's so much fun to just bang through gears with the paddle shifters because they feel like they actually work. It's ridiculous. It's not perfect. There's no way that I would say that this is anywhere near perfect, but for a TCU back-end flash, it is extremely well put together, and I would highly recommend buying it. I mean, it makes the car feel solid, and that's what I was kind of looking for, especially with the added power. I feel like if I just had an ECU back-end flash and no TCU flash at all, I would feel like I was missing something. I would be missing something. I mean, all around, the TCU feels extremely well put together. I like the ability of being able to switch from comfort to sport. I mean, there was already that factor in the stock form, but it's even more so, I wouldn't say exaggerated, but there's more of a fun factor now when I switch into sport mode. I mean, it's really like a race mode. Even though this is not a race car, it really feels that way. I mean, it's way more fun. So, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out my next video that I have coming up on the ECU review, because that tune is crazy. It completely changes the car in a good way. So, thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video.